Function fam, this is Cheyenne Roberts.
And Lisa Wardle. And today in our episode, we're going to be skipping ahead to Chapter 13 of the California Math Framework.
Yeah, because before we hand you any curriculum samples, we need to talk about what high-quality materials actually look like.
Totally. This is kind of like checking Yelp before trying a new restaurant. Better decisions happen when you know what good looks like and what giant red flags to look for.
Yeah, especially since Hemet's most recent SBAC scores show that we're only around 18% proficient in math.
Nice.
We need curriculum that actually elevates our student thinking and not just repeats the patterns that we've been in.
Right. So today we're unpacking the 5 big things that California says high-quality curriculum must do. And we're sharing what you should actually look for as you review the materials. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
Alrighty. So the first big question is this. Does the curriculum really teach the math, or does it just look pretty? The framework says materials have to align to the California standards and the standards for mathematical practice.
Yeah, and not like fake alignment. The chapter titled Linear Functions actually needs to be aligned, not just say it is.
Right. And we also need materials that build understanding, application, and reasoning. Kids should be thinking, not copying steps like they're auditioning to be calculators.
Which is the current reality in most of the math classrooms that we walk through.
Exactly.
If the task doesn't spark curiosity or conversation, they're not supporting our shared vision at HUSD for our mathematics program, which says our classrooms spark curiosity, build confidence, and promote deep thinking through meaningful exploration and collaboration.
And here's what strong curriculum should feel like.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, students are leaning in because there's something to figure out, not something to just mimic. Lessons that start with a question instead of a lecture. I mean, how boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to listen to your teacher lecture all day. Yuck. There should also be opportunities for multiple strategies and not a single, like quote unquote official method.
Exactly. You'll hear kids saying things like, wait, I think I see the pattern, or can I try it this way instead? That's when you know the curriculum is really doing its job.
Yeah. So as you review materials, things that we need to look for are these. A task that gives kids something real to figure out. We want questions before procedures, multiple valid strategies, visible reasoning, not just answer getting, as well as opportunities for students to actually talk about the math.
Yeah, and if students can complete the whole lesson silently using photomath, that's a no.
A big fat no. So now we're on to question 2, and the second question is this. Is the curriculum built around big ideas, or is it just topic hopping, chaos?
That's a great question to ask. We've spent a couple years now building a coherent learning progressions in Hemet, so all the way from our TK all the way through our Algebra 2 12th graders.
Yeah.
And one of the main objectives of this work was to create a scope and sequence that builds ideas over time so the kids see how it's connected.
Right, totally. So now we need to find a curriculum that builds ideas over time, not just units that feel like random math islands. That's honestly the worst.
Yeah.
The framework wants programs organized around big ideas and learning progressions with those SMPs embedded throughout.
And here's what that should look like.
All right.
Math should feel like a story, not a scavenger hunt. Kids are making connections like, this is what we just learned last week or last year, but a little bit deeper.
Right, like fractions and ratios, proportional relationships, those linear functions. That should feel like one continuous thread and not just 4 separate units teachers reteach every year.
So when you're reviewing the sample material, I want you guys to notice whether you can see the storyline of the unit, how it progresses. Concepts building day to day and week to week. Big ideas are named and used intentionally, and representations stay consistent across grades.
Right, and we want to make sure that those lessons feel connected, not like channel flipping.
Yes.
So if every chapter feels like a brand new universe, then guess what? That's not coherent.
Okay, so on to the third question.
Alrighty.
Is assessment woven into the learning, or is it all quiz on Fridays?
Right. Assessment should be happening during the learning, not as a surprise pop quiz. The framework is very clear about that.
So curriculum should include formative checks, reasoning-based summatives, and support for using student work to make instructional decisions.
Yes. And it should also guide teachers in how to make data-driven decisions about how and when to implement that Tier 2 and those Tier 3 interventions.
Yeah, totally. If a curriculum could guide me through those decisions, it would be a lifesaver. I
Right?
already feel like I'm making so many decisions in a day, and it's hard to make a decision for which kid needs what support or what enrichment without some automaticity.
Yes, I 100% agree. It's totally like a decision fatigue. It's
Yeah.
like so real. So here's what it should look like when we're giving those assessments. There should be moments in the lesson where the teacher pauses and checks for thinking. Tasks that require students to explain, not just answer, and examples of student strategies, including misconceptions and what to do with them.
Okay, so that means we are looking at different curriculum options to pilot. We should look for built-in checkpoints during lessons, opportunities for students to show and justify their thinking,
Yep.
guidance on what teachers' moves should they make next,
Yep.
assessments that go beyond multiple choice, and summatives that prioritize reasoning.
Yes. If assessment feels tacked on at the end, it's not supporting good instruction at all. It needs to be part of that instruction as well.
Yes, and we need assessments for learning, not just assessments of learning.
Yes. Amen. So, all right. Are you ready for that fourth question?
I'm ready.
The fourth question is this: does the curriculum support all students or only the kids that are ready, confident in math?
The framework says curriculum must support multilingual learners, students with disabilities, and the historically marginalized groups. So how can we make sure the curriculum does this?
Well, we're really going to be looking for real UDL strategies, scaffolds, sentence frames, multiple entry points, as well as relevant context, not add your own differentiation. I'm sorry, I meant to say differentiation. Tongue twister.
So what strong supports in curriculum should look like would be students entering the math through visuals, manipulatives, tables, graphs, and stories. Lessons where language isn't a barrier to thinking. And tasks that feel culturally relevant and welcoming.
Yes. And when you're reviewing, look for curriculum that also has those clear built-in supports for our multilingual learners, multiple representations of each concept, low floor, high ceiling tasks, real world contexts that reflect our kids' lives, as well as opportunities for discourse, not just worksheets. Boring.
If only your fastest processors or highest readers can access the math, the curriculum isn't equitable. Period. The end.
Yes. And our final question is this: does a curriculum actually support teachers or overwhelm them? We want to support our teachers. So materials should make your life easier and not harder. They should help you think, plan, question, consolidate, as well as differentiate.
This makes me think of a few of those curriculum sales meetings that we've been in lately where we have so many awesome tools for teachers, but between the TE, Student Notebook Volume 1, 2, 3, the State Testing Practice Book, the Assessment Booklet,
Vocabulary book,
all of the online resources, it was so overwhelming. Like, where do I even start?
I know. I was just mind blown. I remember what I said about that decision fatigue. Well, sometimes less is more, and more is just too much.
No, seriously. Like, I almost didn't even want to look at their curriculum because it was so much.
I know.
But we should know why all these supports are embedded into the curriculum. The framework expects the curricula to include rationale for tasks, questions for discourse, student work samples, misconceptions, scaffolds, and teaching suggestions.
Right. So what should this look like? Well, teachers' materials that feel like a coaching partner. They explain why the task matters and how students might reason through it. They give questions that promote discourse and not just scripts to read.
So when you evaluate curriculum, take a look and ask yourself, does it help me launch tasks, not lecture? Does it anticipate student thinking? Does it give questions that promote reasoning? Does it support a BTC style consolidation? And does it make the learning goals clear?
So if a program makes you feel more confident, great. If it makes you want to hide under your desk, like some of those curriculums that we saw in those meetings, oh my gosh, then you know what? That is not the one. Abandon ship.
All right, Function fam. So those are the 5 things California wants us paying attention to and the exact look-fors to guide our pilot.
So remember, you're not just flipping through textbooks, you're evaluating tools that shape how our kids learn mathematics for years.
So until next time, I hope you notice the math around you.
And get ready to evaluate some materials like your absolute pros that you are.
All right, see you next time.
See ya.